The final score, Wrexham 1, TNS nil. How good was that? I'll tell you how good that was. That was really good. Oh my word, a superb victory for Wrexham. And hey, I did say before Sunday that Swansea's fixtures are tricky. We could do this. Well, we have taken the first phase to the last day of the season. We now will go to Swansea, and if we win at Swansea, we are through to the top half for phase two, which would be a crazy achievement. But well, after last Sunday when we banged 7 goals in and Swansea lose, today we had to get a better outcome than Swansea, who are at home to Britain Ferry. Their game kicked off 15 minutes early, and throughout the match, it was a case of looking at the Cymru football app and getting the updates and seeing how Swansea were doing, and they drew 0-0. And at that point, we're drawing 0-0 with 15 minutes left, and goodness me, we were set up for the most dramatic conclusion. But anyway, let's go through the whole thing. Steve Dale made 3 changes from the side that scored 7 goals on Sunday. Phoebe Davis took a knock in that match, and so she wasn't in the matchday squad. But we did also make alterations at the back. Katie Sharp coming in and slotting into the centre of the back three, and Karen Allen coming in to play on the left-hand side of that three. Nat Clark continued on the right. And also making way, therefore, was Erin Lovett, who was on the bench. We also switched Rebecca Pritchard and Amber Lightfoot around. So Pritchard started, Lightfoot on the bench, and Cara Jones, interestingly, moving over to the left-hand side. And we had to resist the most ferocious start by TNS, which, I think maybe was an interesting justification of Dale's changes, insofar as obviously one of them was enforced upon us, but having Sharp and Allen in that back three certainly meant we had 2 specialist, strong, physical central defenders in there, and also Pritchard's more defensive minded than Lightfoot, and we needed all of them because we were put under terrific pressure. TNS started like an old school heavy metal football, Jurgen Klopp side, just pressing ferociously, moving the ball quickly, players running from deeper positions onto forward passes, and the first 10 minutes were terrifying. But we did really well. They didn't have that many chances, despite the fact that we spent a lot of time in our penalty area. Havard had a shot from the edge of the box, 2 straight, which Craven was saved comfortably. And they did score in the 4th minute. And I got to say, it was a big call by the referee to disallow it. And it was a decision that I think might have influenced him for the rest of the game, because basically what happened was that Frances Jones, the right wing back, who's got good pedigree, Wales Youth International, and a big signing for them in January, she was just leading the press, leading the charge throughout that opening period. She was terrific. And she put in a cross to the near post. Tia couldn't get to it. Tia didn't play it, but she held Lily Jones. Lily couldn't reach it, and the ball carried through to Lexi Jones, who scored. And the referee disallowed it for the pull on Lily. I mean, I can see why, but it was a lot less than what Elliot Lee did on Saturday. So it was a bold call, I thought. Lily asked for it, but the body language looked like somebody who was hoping the ref would agree rather than expecting or demanding it. So it was a big call, and like I said, I think it influenced him for the rest of the match, because he was on a hair trigger after that. Any little shirt pull, he was given a foul for, I think, to try and show consistency. Which sort of actually fell quite nicely for us, because TNS were a bit more grabby than we were, so we got a few free kicks that were a little bit soft. But anyway, that ferocious start started to slow down. We earned our right by digging in to be in the game, and then we started to bypass their press, playing it up front. Iddenden, of course, loves to hold the ball up and was useful in doing that. Suckley is happy to drop deep and receive, but also is happy to sprint over the top. So TNS playing with, as you have to when you play that style of football, a very high line. Suckley's testing it by driving in behind it and stretching them, and then also in them by dropping off, is asking questions of them whether someone goes with her. So we just started to get a toehold. And of course, we've got that excellent midfield three. Fuller again playing higher up the pitch than she has been for most of the season, with behind her Cairns and Lily Jones. And the three of them took control of the game for us. It was a very narrow game. There wasn't really much going on the flanks, in all honesty. Cara Jones, I think, looks more dangerous when she's on the right, cutting inside. And so she wasn't able to have quite the threat, although she did have one good breakaway chance after a fabulous pass from deep by Lily Jones. She had Indon in the middle, but she scuffed her attempted cross and it just dribbled to the keeper. But we started to make opportunities. Indon doing well in midfield, nicking the ball from Webb, feeding it down the right channel. Great ball, Suckley sprinting after it. The goalkeeper comes herring off her line. She looks the favourite. TNS defender comes across Suckley just to try and run it back. Actually, Suckley does get there first. It was brilliant persistence by her. The keeper's so close that all Suckley can do is toe poke it, and the goalkeeper blocks it with her body. But again, just a sign that we're starting to ask questions, and also, Suckley is irrepressible and will chase anything and might well make something happen. So it was a little bit of a warning shot for TNS. And we have the next chance as well. Lily Jones doing really well to retrieve the ball in midfield. She works a nice 1-2 with Suckley down the left and then feeds it to Windon on the edge of the area. Lovely first-time prod out wide to Cara Jones, who sweeps the ball in to the far post. It falls off a defender beautifully on the edge of the box for Liv Fuller, the player you want chances to fall to drive it home. Just as she's hitting it, Webb has recovered and got a foot in and just takes the pace off it, and it spins kindly straight to the goalkeeper. But wow, it was a real moment there. If Webb hadn't made that desperate challenge, you'd rather fancy Fuller to hit the net from that sort of range. It's something she specialises in. At the other end then, Wrexham put under pressure. Free kick played to the edge of the area. Tia helps it on. Again, Lexi Jones has a sight of goal. Ball's going to cross her away from goal. She's right of centre, but she gets a good contact on it. But Clark does well to put under a bit of pressure, so she has to hit it first time. And Craven shows good hands getting down and holding on to it. Then it's back up the other end. This game now is being played at a crazy tempo. The first half, utterly breathless. TNS with their aggressive front foot style and us then counter-punching. It was exciting stuff. Cara Jones doing well to flick the ball down the flank. Suckley sweeping the ball into the box. Pritchard at the far post knocking it down. And Lily Jones then, just like Fuller moments earlier, looks to have a chance to just drive the ball home from about 15 yards out. Phillips this time is the player who intervenes with an excellent tackle to stop Jones getting to the ball. But we keep going. Lily Jones winning the ball again and doing really nicely to prod the ball down the right channel. Suckley one-on-one with the keeper, and this time she's got to it first. But she'll be so frustrated. A hat-trick last weekend, and this time one-on-one with the goalie with maybe a bit too much time to think about things. She pulled it badly wide. At the other end, Craven has to make another sharp take from a shot on the edge of the area before Wrexham again putting pressure on. A free kick by Lily Jones, about 25 yards out, maybe a little bit less, right of centre. She floats it over the wall, looking for the top left corner. It's a perfectly placed shot. Elliott, great footwork, having got behind her wall a little bit, manages to recover, come back the other way, and just about claws it out as it's about to cross the line. The ball drops for Suckley, but it's pretty much an impossible angle. She's close in, but it's pretty much impossible, and it's coming fast straight at her. She's got no choice but to just try and angle it back in, and she hits the side netting. TNS, with 3 minutes left of the half, have an opportunity as the two sides traded a chance each just before half-time, and it's a great piece of keeping again by Lizzie Craven. Tia getting the ball on the right side of the box and doing absolutely superbly, managing to wriggle past Lily Jones and Karen Allen. She's got a player waiting at the far post, Lexi Jones, for a tap-in, and she drives it across. Craven does superbly at her near post to stop it with her foot and prod it away. Great goalkeeping. And then Wrexham go at the other end and win a free kick again. A little bit further out, this time Lily Jones clips it into the box. It's half cleared. Suckley roars onto it, and it's the third big 50-50 tackle that TNS managed to get in on the edge of the area when we're looking to score. Defender gets a foot in, and this time Suckley just about gets there first, but the defender's foot arrives a fraction later and deflects it wide for a corner. So, wow. Quite the first half. Absolutely breathless, non-stop action, both sides going for it. I mean, like I said, we need to better Swansea's result. And TNS, it's massively important for them, of course, because at Christmas they were top of the table. But then they lost 4-3 at home to Cardiff, having led 3 times. And then last Sunday, they were 2-1 up at Britain Ferry. Britain Ferry had a player sent off after an hour, but let in a 96th minute equaliser. They've got the Adrian Trophy final on Sunday. Remember, we lost to Swansea in the other semi-final. And so they know that, you know, they need a result here. And they come at us from the very start of the second half. They reset themselves. I mean, frankly, I would say first 10 minutes of the first half, all TNS pretty much. But then we managed to recover in the last half hour. We're better than them, I would say. We took the game to them well. They reset and come out again with a bit more of that intensity and ferocity. And within the first minute, we're a little bit naive and we get caught out. Katie Chapman has come on for Havard on the left-hand side, a straight swap, and she immediately has an opportunity. Like I said, it was just a little bit naive by us. We're looking to put pressure on them, but we commit too many players up the pitch. And so when we lose the ball in midfield, suddenly we're absolutely wide open. The ball is switched to Chapman, a substitute who's just come on, and she's all on her own on the left-hand side, charging into the danger area. Katie Sharp's the only centre-back who is back, and we are in real trouble. Fair play, Ava Suckley comes herring back out of nowhere to make up a second defender. We're still outnumbered, but luckily for us, Suckley lunges in and makes a tackle. That just knocks them a bit off kilter. They still keep the breakaway going as we're starting to get players back. And Chapman rips in a great cross. Lexi Jones is unmarked, running through the middle of the box. It looks like she's got to score, but she misjudges it. She goes for it with a volley and she can't reach it. I think she had to go for it with her head. It was a real opportunity, but we survive it. But we are now under pressure. It's a different game the second half. It's tighter. The pace isn't quite the same, and TNS are looking to impose themselves a little bit better. They've got an experienced double pivot who are starting to control things a little bit more. Their movement to their front three is good, and we're having to work hard to stay in it. 64th minute, Steve Dale makes a change that I thought would happen in the second half. Lightfoot on for Pritchard, just to give a bit of freshness down the flank. Pritchard had done a good defensive job, and was tidy on the ball, but wasn't be able to get into the further positions. I must admit, I thought he'd switch Cara Jones, that is, and Lightfoot around, but he doesn't, interestingly. So you get the rare sight of Lightfoot playing on the right-hand side, but she does a good job. Again, the game's still pretty narrow, but having her as an inverted wing-back isn't the worst thing, and she does a good job tracking back and helping out sometimes in the centre of midfield. And we start to get back into things and start making chances. The first one comes when Katie Sharp does really a proper centre-back work, stepping up with the player she's marking, winning it really aggressively. It drops for Cara Jones, who does that well. When I was a kid, when we played headers and volleys, we'd call this a self-made volley, because she flicks it up with her head and then manages to get on the other side of it and square it inside. It's helped on by Suckley for Iddenden, who is one-on-one with the keeper and is flagged offside. And all I can say, it's tight. It's really tight. You can't tell for sure. I've gone back frame by frame. You can't tell for sure if it's offside or not, because she's not quite in the frame. Her shadow is, though. And I've got to say, it kind of looks to me like she might be onside. It's really close. But when she receives it, she's actually standing still. She's still where her shadow is, so you can sort of see where she is. The TNS defender is, again, closer to the camera, so you can't see where she was, but she looks pretty much level as she comes into frame, and the TNS defender's running back, whereas Idenden had to stop to receive the ball. I think she might have been just on, and she she is 1-1 with the keeper, and actually she finishes it beautifully, although the keeper has stopped by them, but she drills it in the bottom corner. So frustration for Wrexham, but we keep going. And 4 minutes later, we have another moment of pressure to survive. This time it's a long scramble in our area after a corner, which it looks like we're going to deal with, but then Lewis does really well to nip in ahead of Clark on the right channel, drive into the box, pulls it back. Lexi Jones 7 yards out, strikes it sweetly across Craven. Superb save by Craven. Jones has hit it across her into the bottom far corner. She's kept it low and she's got good contact on it. Brilliant save. Craven gets low so quickly. Really strong wrist. Gets her out. The ball drops loose in the goalmouth and Karen Allen is there first to launch it away to safety. Outstanding save by Craven. Save of the season? Yeah, I reckon. And keeps us in the game halfway through the half. We then get up the other side, Idenden with a glorious turn on the edge of the area. Looks like she's going to get a shot in. Phillips makes a fantastic recovery tackle. Then at the other end, a controversial one. Well, it was not controversial, but it caught everybody out. Craven has the ball, puts it down, picks it up again. Can't do that. Ref gives the free kick. So indirect free kick in the Wrexham penalty area. Lewis squares it to Evans, who leans backwards and launches it well over the bar. Great relief for Wrexham. By now the Swansea game's over, and we know a goal's going to do it. We throw Rosie Hughes on for Brooke Cairns. So we've now got Suckley playing at the front end of midfield, trying to join the strikers Hughes and Idenden. Fuller dropping a little deeper, but obviously trying to step up. And my word, we go for it. It's tremendous. Again, it's like the first half. We're really pushing hard and doing our very best. There's a lovely move down the right-hand side. Clark with a throw in. Idenden with a brilliant turn, beats her marker, finds Lightfoot, who drives down the right side, cuts in, and then drills a cross shot, which Elliot, the keeper, has to dive full stretch to palm around for the corner. And then when the corner comes in, Cara Jones floats it into a nice area. Keeper comes to punch, doesn't really get a proper contact. It drops in the 6-yard box. There's a little scramble, and then Hughes, 6 yards out, hits the shot on target. It's blocked on the line, ricochets back out, and TNS got a big breakaway. They're bursting forwards at pace, and Suckley comes flying back. Brilliant 40-yard recovery sprint and full stretch tackle to stop the breakaway. Fantastic work. And then 3 minutes left, all hell breaks loose, and it's a crazy, crazy goal. Rosie Hughes has come on and is linking play really well, and she will play a key part in this. Firstly, doing really well to link up with Idenden and set Idenden down the right-hand side. Idenden does ever so well, sets herself, and then puts a perfect cross to the far post. Suckley's completely unmarked at the far post, 6 yards out. The ball's coming to her beautifully, and she takes a swing and misses it. It might just hit a standing leg, but it's an air shot. You just sort of think, she would have wanted to keep one of her hat-trick goals back for then, wouldn't she? And you think, oh no, 3 minutes left, that's our opportunity. But Rosie Hughes has kept going, and she sprints out to the flank and retrieves the ball brilliantly, keeping the move going, and feeds it inside to Lily Jones. And Lily Jones does that Lily Jones thing. She cuts inside and from a good 25 yards out on the left flank, rips the most beautiful curler over the keeper and into the top right corner. It is magnificent. She goes insane. If I could hit a ball like that, I tell you, I would. The crowd erupt, and we've now got to dig in and try to see it home. And to be fair, we do. The ref adds 5 minutes. It's elongated by a couple more because Karen Allen is injured, and we have to cope without her for a free kick into the box, which Phillips heads wide, but she's struggling to get to it. But that's the only real threat. We control the game really well. In fact, we have quite a lot of the ball in the remaining stages. We don't make the mistake of dropping off and trying to hang on. We are quite constructive with it and sensible when the ball goes dead as well. And we see it out. And it's a huge derby win. I can't tell you how big it is because it keeps this season alive. And it also, just I think, it feels like vindication in all sorts of ways. Like I said, we've been playing well all season and the results haven't matched the performances. Well, here it did. And TNS, a team who are still in with the shout at the title, although we've hurt them with this win, they turned up and they showed why they're in contention for the title. Their standards were high, their quality was good, but we repelled them and got the win. And it couldn't be better than Lily Jones doing it, could it? Oh, my word. So, looking at the performances, right, I don't know who I'm going to say as player of the match. Well, I think I do, actually. But one contender is Lizzie Craven, who makes a couple of sharp saves. That one with her feet was good work. But then that save in the second half is massive. I don't know if we'd have had 2 goals in this game. Because it was hard to create chances against TNS's high-quality defence. It was a brilliant save, and it was crucial in the context of the match and the season as well. So huge, huge credit to Craven. Did ever so well. The centre-backs did really well. And Katie Sharp coming back in as the centre of the 3. Totally dominant, really impressive, strong as always in the air, stepping in and making good challenges too. She really, again, you just know you can rely on her. She's such a good central defender, and I know it sounds stupid, she does the central defendery things well, tackling, heading. I know it's obvious, I know it's daft, but she does, and this was that sort of game, and it was smart maybe for Dale to use her. Karen Allen, tremendous on the left hand side, proper captain's innings on the left of the 3. I mean, especially in the first half when it wasn't just our ability to spring the press that got us back into it. It was also the heart of players like Allen, who was a warrior. He was just stepping up, winning tackles, taking hits, as she always does. And she did take a right battering again. But she was relentless in her fight and her desire to take the game to TNS. Of course, she defends the box well, like Sharp does. But she was such a fighter as well, battling through challenges. There was one great moment where she got a really hard but fair tackle on Tia right in front of the TNS dugout in the first half. Quite early on, Tia's a dangerous player and played well in this game. And then she immediately just stood there and gave a stare to the TNS dugout, and you think, yeah, this is what you want to see from Wrexham's captain, isn't it? It was brilliant. On the other side of the back 3, Nat Clark had a second highly accomplished game in 4 days at centre-back. Again, she's... I was going to say she's more low-key in the way she approaches defending than Allen. I'll stand by that, but it's certainly not meant as a diminishing her work. She is more, she reads the ball, she intercepts. I have no idea what that noise just was. I hope it isn't my laptop saying it's stopped helping. But there it goes again. I think it was Siri sticking its nose in. No, it was, and she was really, and of course she provides good service, taking the game forwards. That challenge on Lexi Jones to force her to hit an early shot from a tightish angle was important and enabled Craven to make a sharp save. And I think if she hadn't been able to put that pressure on, Jones might have had a chance to take a touch and just drill it home from close range. The wing-backs, Pritchard again was neat and tidy. It wasn't a game of width, and she didn't get much chance really to go forwards. But she's watching Grace Dunkerley, the left wing-back for TNS, who is a really good player and can be extremely dangerous. And Dunkerley didn't really have a sniff going forwards when Pritchard was on the pitch. So again, it was nice work maybe by Steve Dale in that using Pritchard in that way. She nullified that side of the pitch. It was a good, strong, solid display by her. Cara Jones, like I say, she's got much more goal threat when she's playing on the other side of the pitch. But having said that, she still, of course, puts in a good job. She's got to fight for everything, and it was that sort of game. So often there was no space in midfield, and they had to work and fight and try and win the ball. That's something else we did well, actually, just fighting, forcing turnovers in the opposing half. It was pleasing to see. She was key in that, even if she didn't perhaps have that much threat compared to recently in the final third. The midfield trio were good. I mean, again, Brooke Cairns working like crazy. She looked, by the end of it, you could just see she'd run herself so hard for 2 matches. But wow, I mean, her energy was terrific. She wasn't finding much space in midfield, which is good for TNS because you can't give her space. But she was using the ball nicely under pressure, which she will do anyway. She's a street smart player, and she was important in the way that we dealt with TNS's breaking going forwards. Alongside her, my player of the match, I mean, Lily Jones, quite apart from the ludicrous goal, just throughout was doing a hell of a job for Wrexham Football Club. And that's she does. Her energy was crazy, and her and Cairns in the middle of the pitch are fighting for everything and stopping TNS from overrunning us. And then her ability to keep her composure and play the forward passes, having won the ball, was crucial. So she's giving us that chance to break. That sort of play is so important, isn't it? When you're playing a high-pressing team. A player who's able to firstly break the press with either with a challenge, but then also is press resistant, so that she's won it, but now the counter press is on. If they can gegen press us, if they can nick it straight back off her after when she's off balance after winning it, or if she gives it away, they're at us again. But she was using the ball so well after winning the ball. Now that's an overlooked quality, but it was very important. And then the goal is one of the moments of the season, men or women. It was magnificent. What a excellent performance she put in all aspects of play. And it had to be, because like I said, players like Craven, Allen, were outstanding. To get picked as the best player on the pitch ahead of them, well, yeah, you've gone some. Well done, Lily. Liv Fuller, again, quality. So many times she gets the ball in those pressured areas in this sort of match, and she's secure in the ball, and she'll make the right decisions. A real class act. She wasn't able to get as many shooting chances as she has done in recent matches, but she was still linking play up really well. And we do look good with her in those forward positions. And then the front two, Iddenden, again, great to see her get through the 90 minutes, having come back from injury, not only her first start from injury on Sunday. But again, finding little angles, holding the ball up, linking play, crucial creative player, real great creative player, and she did ever so well. And alongside Ava Suckley, now sadly, after the hat-trick on Sunday, her chances, she had the two best chances of the match and wasn't able to take either of them. But in all other aspects, you've got to take your hat off to her. She was creative. She was, I mean, she covers the ground. She's tireless the way she covers the ground. And she made a couple of ludicrous recovery runs to cover when players who are more defensively positioned than her, or should be, were out of position, and she was getting back and making the tackles. I mean, goodness me, again, like Lily Jones, what a Wrexham through and through, and doing a hell of a job for her team. As for the substitutes who came on, right, firstly, Lightfoot did a good, as I said in the description earlier, disciplined job. Inverted on the right and tidy, and just making sure again that there was no threat from Dunkley, and had a couple of good attacking moments too. And then Rosie Hughes, 10-minute cameo, brilliant. I mean, heck, her link-up play is so good. She was so unlucky she nearly got played one-on-one almost straight away, just trying to use her pace, and the pass was just had too much on it. And then her work for the goal, firstly setting Iddenden up to create the Suckley chance, but then, she's on the right flank then. Iddenden's passed it in, Suckley's not managed to make it, but Hughes is then popping up on the left because she's followed everything in and doesn't give up and is able to keep the move alive, claim the ball back and feed Lily Jones. It's a hell of an assist, and it was a hell of a thing for us, and it was a huge win. Still going to be tough going to Swansea and getting the result, but at least we go in there aiming to get that result, and, I reckon there's been no point in this season where we've had more self-belief. Let's go there and see what we can do. Pity it's not this Sunday, to be honest. I wouldn't mind us going there right now and building on this momentum. But an outstanding evening at the Rock. I mean, honestly, if you're one of those people who, is interested in how the women's team are going, but you're not going down to the games, go to the games. Our next home game is against Swansea in the quarter-final of the Cup, and I've got to say, it's going to be a corker, because our games against them are always really end to end. But yeah, Wrexham have done themselves very proud. A huge win against a very strong Derby rival. And yeah, I'll take that. With the final score of Wrexham 1, TNS nil, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.